Tremendous day, world. We are here at the great James Madison Athletic Banquet, and we're going to drop them off a few words of wisdom. We're going to hit them with some life, some discipline, some social media talk. We're also going to talk about how discipline is the key to success, being selfless, and hopefully they can take some of that experience, my experience, use it so they can avoid some of the pitfalls that they may incur, and they can make a smooth transition into their world. Y'all check it out.
Let me have your attention, everyone. I know you can get quiet because when my phone went off, you all got quiet, so I know you can. But our speaker is Mr. 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster, founder, executive director of 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster Foundation. He's a former LSU Tiger, 2003 national champion, two-time Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants. He's a husband, father, and son of the Bayou. 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster has displayed leadership, compassion through his nonprofit organizations, lending his talents, efforts, and resources to create collaborative initiatives such as personal development seminars, student-athlete enrichment programs, and reading initiatives in partnership with local schools and libraries to encourage families to explore the world through education. 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster leads by example and pushes himself beyond comfort zones, taking chances and welcoming opportunities to grow. In 2016, he discovered a hidden talent as a crafted dancer and snagged the championship disco ball as the winner of the Big Buddies Dancing with the Stars annual fundraiser. He stated he embraced the experience to challenge himself to grow, to encourage others, and to take a chance at learning new things as well. 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster is a true team player and attributes his structure to his faith, his beautiful wife, 𝗘𝗏, and their three handsome sons, Corey II, Corden, and Colin. We present to you tonight Mr. 𝗘𝗚𝗜𝗧𝗢𝗥 Webster.
Thank you very much, babe. Great evening. It's okay if I hold and move around a little bit, or I can't move that far? I got you. I'm gonna stand still, man. Great evening. I appreciate those kind words. I appreciate that intro. First of all, I'm gonna tell you guys, none of this is possible. He named a few things that I did, but none of this is possible without God. I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today if it wasn't for God. And that's just the gist of it, you know. I mean, nothing before him or after him. You know, everything comes from that. So that's the first thing. I'm standing here today because of that, the Most High. I also like to congratulate all the student athletes. I know we have a couple of state championships in the house. I heard basketball as well as track. If I'm leaving anything out, I apologize. So why don't y'all, give them a round of applause if y'all don't mind. State champ. Now, being a student athlete, that comes with a lot of responsibility. It's a 2-in-1. You can't do one without the other. That's why it's called being a student athlete, right? So whether you want to or not, you are role models all across the board. You got little brothers, you got younger classmates, you got people that look up to you. And that's just, the thing about playing sports. So in playing sports, you take discipline. You can't do nothing without discipline. Discipline is everything. Discipline is the key to all types of success. That's just the way it is. You can't go around it. You can't do one without the other. Be successful without being disciplined. Discipline is sometimes doing what you don't want to do, but doing it with a smile on your face, right? Sometimes you don't want to wake up in the morning to do those early morning practices or late night studies, but embracing that and doing it with a smile on your face is what success is all about, right? You have things that you don't want to do, but you need to push through it in order to get it done and be successful. Myself, I have a little social media. Is it safe to say everybody in here has social media? Yes. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the whole nine, Snapchat, Instagram, MySpace. No MySpace? Okay, my fault. My fault, my fault, my fault. My fault, just me. Well, with social media, you know, it's pros and cons to it. You know what I mean? I think we can learn a little financial literacy through understanding social media, meaning asset versus liability. You can use social media as an asset, right? And we have saw it be a liability to a lot of people as well, especially this day and age with cameras and cell phones all around us, right? You saw people lose their job, you saw people lose their position in life because of a viral moment on social media. So in this new world, have anybody ever been to a social media class? Meaning like a class to, you know, so I see a couple of moms. So there are classes out there to teach you how to use social media so you can use it as an asset. And with student athletes in here and the whole NIL deal, you are now a brand. Your name, your brand is no different than Coca-Cola or McDonald's. You are a brand, so you should carry yourself as such. When you move around, you should be mindful of that. You know what I mean? Any little stain on your jacket will go with you along wherever you're going. So be mindful of what you're posting. Be mindful of what you retweeting and things like that on social media. Be mindful of what you're putting out there, because if somebody's going to be willing to invest money in you, they're going to do their due diligence and go see what you've been posting. They're going to take their time to see, okay, what does this social media look like? Is this person a person that I can put millions of dollars behind to invest in whatever product that I'm trying to sell, or whatever product that I want them to have on, whether they shoot deals? There's all kinds of deals out there. You can make a whole living straight off of NIL right now. They got guys signing $1 million deals off of NIL, name, image, and likeliness. So you get to control that. You get to get out in front of that because you have a social media. You can start branding yourself right now. You don't have to wait till you have a program or an institution, or you don't have to wait till you have a PR person to do that. You can do that by being mindful of what you're putting out there. If you're not going to put it out to your teachers, if you wouldn't put it out in front of your parents, if you wouldn't put it out in front of those community leaders, then you probably shouldn't press in. Because we can say that, Snapchat got the 24-hour rule, or InstaSnap got the 24-hour rule, but we all know that you can put it out on those channels and somebody could screenshot it and it still live out there forever. And if somebody want it bad enough, they can always go to the cloud and pull that. So with social media, I just say be mindful of that. Use it as a tool that it is, so you can use it as an asset and not let it be a liability to you and find yourself going viral in one of those negative moments. And that goes to my decision making. That's about making decisions right there, right? And I didn't know at the time that I was going to be speaking to all student athletes, so I thought it was going to be only the boys basketball team. So I'm sorry. I was thinking about young men when I thought about this next statement. Like, a lot of us make, especially for young men, I know we say women are emotional creatures, but men, we are too. And a lot of us make decisions based off our emotions and not logic. Meaning, recently, maybe before the pandemic, I talked to a friend of mine that's incarcerated at a maximum security prison down in Louisiana. And the guys that I spoke to, they talked about emotions. And if they knew how to handle their emotions, that they may not have made that decision that got them incarcerated. And I'm standing amongst, people that actually, stole, killed, and did what they do to get in there, lifers, right? And they say if they had understood how to deal with their emotions, that they might not have made that decision. So be mindful of that. That's women and men, Be mindful of, the decisions that you make, because we are here today because of the decisions that we made in our past. It all brought us to this cross where we intersect, myself included. So we want to make sure the decisions that we make today put us on the right path going forward. So it's going to be about the decision. You will be a product of the decisions that you make today, and it's going to say a lot about what your future going to look like. And you can't go around that. So be mindful of making those not emotional decisions, taking the time, breathe, whatever you got to do. They got a lot of things out there. They got a lot of, people talking about mental health. That wasn't cool to talk about, a few months ago, a few years ago. Right now, it's being a conversation. So there's a lot of things out there, and we just had something that just recently happened right down the street from us that touched home, right? So we don't know what they're going through, but those things are actively happening. So be mindful of that. We need to pray for those individuals, the families, the community that's going through it, but also be mindful of that. And if we need help, reach out. This thing called life, a lot of people say, somebody once told me that life is easy, people make it hard. Now I know we all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different resources and different trials and tribulations, but we all, and some have more resources than others, but we all get 24 hours, 7 days, 365. And what we do with them, the decision that we make to do with our time and our days is ultimately what's gonna affect us later on in life, right? How you use that time, right? Some people say time is an illusion because clock is the real thing, right? I need to hear it on there, but how you use your time, how you wake up and invest in yourself will say a lot about you going forward. So try not to make life hard, by making sometimes, like I said, you're a student athlete, so you all are leaders. Leaders have to do the uncomfortable things sometimes. They don't do the most popular things. It's just the way of the world, right? Because you're trying to do what's right for everybody, not just yourself. You're trying to do what's right for your team. You play basketball, you can't just do the right things for yourself. Y'all wouldn't have that championship if you're not being selfless. Same thing, this is the ultimate team sport. Not everybody run track. I know track has individual events, but if everybody don't take care of their business, then we can't win the team goal. And even in individual sports, you still got a team around you. Even in tennis, you still got coaches, you still got people you practice with. So, try not to make it hard. Try to, commit yourself, be selfless, and make the right decisions in order to, do the right things and to lead. Because somebody's looking at you. Somebody is, looking up to you, whether you know it or not. And for the males and females in here, man, have a lot of respect for yourself. We can't ask other people to respect us if we're not respecting ourselves. We must first respect ourselves and hold ourselves in high regard, right? Young men, I know they say chivalry is dead. That's not true. Y'all can change that. Y'all can still be gentlemen. You can still treat the ladies the right way. You can still be yes, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Young ladies, expect that and demand that. Not only from the gentlemen, but from yourself and from each other, Speak words of affirmation, watch what you call yourself. Make sure you're speaking life into because the tongue is powerful, right? That's a little preachy, but the tongue is very powerful, right? So make sure you're speaking life into your life, into what you're going through. Coach told me I couldn't be long because y'all fussed about people that came last. So I tried to wrap all this in one. I had 15, 20 minutes, but I do want, if you have any questions, because I don't want to leave it where I said something and you may have something when you get home, so if you have anything, I think we got 2 minutes or so. I'll say a little bit about myself. He talked about I was able to win on every level, and just by the grace of God, being selfless. I never did it by myself. We all have prayer warriors, You may not know those prayer warriors, but people at home that's praying for you, parents, grandparents, uncles, community leaders, people that you may not even know, that's putting that hedge of protection on you, right? So you can go out there and do what you do bravely, right? So, live in the now, I know a lot of people like to look to the future because what's next, right? The seniors looking at what school they're going to, the juniors looking at what's next for them as far as the upcoming season. Try to be present. When you be present, you can be grateful for all of the people, that's the prayer warriors and things of that nature. Sometimes getting ahead, you lose sight of the things that are important to you right now, the things that got you here. I'm gonna keep harping on like the track and the basketball. What were some of those lessons that got you to the championship? What were some of those things that got you over the hump? Don't lose none of that that's the funny thing, and that's the thing I like about sports. You can take so much from sports and use it in everyday life. So what are you taking from it? The discipline for you waking up in the morning and being able to shoot 1,000 shots or whatever the case may be every day. Why wouldn't I use that same discipline into, raising a family or, trying to, bond with my teammates and trying to bond with my significant other or anything like that, right? It's the same discipline. Discipline is discipline, right? So use some of them lessons that you learn from your individual sports and try to carry that throughout life. And I think another thing that's a very important thing, I'm sorry. But financial literacy is very important. And I feel like we learn financial literacy, the easiest way to learn it, through people. You want to be around more assets, people that bring value to your life, right? You don't want to be around liabilities, people that take things away from your life, the energy thieves, people that devalue you. So I feel like if you learn that in people, it's only right that you understand that once you start dealing with money and once you start dealing with homes and cars and things of that nature, right? You start seeing that in individual people, like, oh, this people, I might like them, but are they doing right by me? Are they bringing value to my life? So you learn that from, dealing with individual people. Then you can understand that, right now, I think the biggest deficit in the world is like student loans, like $1.8 trillion. Number two is, I want to say, the housing market. Well, I feel like the difference between the housing market and student loans is that one, you make that decision at about 17, 18, 19 years old, and it's going to affect you the rest of your life, right? That's the student loans, that's the number one. Housing, we need somewhere to stay, and plus you make that decision a little older when you're wiser, right? You're not making that decision when you 17, 18, a teenager, right? So be mindful of that, start studying that. Why I need financial aid, and with financial aid that I don't have to pay back, which one is forgiven already? Don't rack up a whole bunch of loans just to look cool while you're going through the process. And then once you graduate, I talked to a doctor and I didn't understand this. He was like, man, doctors and lawyers have the most in loans to pay back. He said anywhere from $500 to $1 million. They're never going to pay it back. I'm like, what? And I didn't understand that. And that's, the degrees that we think that brings in and make a lot of money, which it does. And we need them. But be mindful of that. You get to plan that. You get to get ahead of that. 5 P's, prior preparation prevents poor performance. So you guys get to plan for that right now. You don't have to go through some of them pitfalls because some people, actually people that owe $1.8 trillion already done been through it. So don't be a part of that statistic, learn from that. And hopefully you can avoid some of those pitfalls. So I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if you got any more questions. I'm at 14 minutes and 23 seconds. So we got a time for a question or two. Any personal question, any, regarding family or anything like that? Yes, sir. One more time. First of all, like I said, and I started off, God, understanding and, getting in the good book, but also my parents, right? And I'll tell you, my dad, he grew up in a foster home. And I'm saying that because he told me that the absence of his father made him know what he wanted to do with his family. So I'm giving y'all that because I grew up with my mom and dad in the house, but my dad didn't, jumped around from foster home. But he said he imagined what he wanted in a father. And that's the father that he became. So I'm just giving you that. Right now we can't use that as an excuse of, maybe this person is not in the house, maybe that person is not in the house. So I'm saying that to say, my parents, my dad, And I had other people around the village. It takes a village, right? It takes, you just told me 23 years, right? Come around full circle. So it takes a village to be able to do it. It's not just one. I can, rattle off a list of people down the same street that I live down, and I can point out all those individual men, women, or, that helped me along the way, that I pulled something from. So I'm from a small town in Louisiana, Vacherie. It's kind of the home of all the plantations. That's what we're popular for. But I can point to some of those people, a lot of the village, to say, oh yeah, I learned something from them. I pulled something from that, and I added it to my life, and then I went on and experienced other things and tried to bring it back to them. So, any other? I think I got time for one. My time is, I think we're rolling right now. Kind of like them hurdles. Where you at? I see, okay. So if that's it, then man, I want to congratulate you all again, all student athletes. Congratulations to the two champions in here, the basketball team and the 300 track. I'm gonna leave you with this, man, keep God first, stick with God, and with him, all things are possible. I appreciate y'all, thank you. Thank you very much, let's go.
Stay right here.
Yes, sir. All right.
We'd like to thank Corey Webster for coming to speak. Give him another round of applause. Those are some valuable lessons that he shared. But this is a token of appreciation from the great James Madison High School. And I'll read it. It says, presented to Corey Webster, we thank you for your time, effort, and commitment to our community and school from the great James Madison High School and our principal, Ms. Marion A. Willis.